All right, everybody, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. I've been thinking a lot about this, and a lot of people in some of these groups that I'm on talk about what are the rules to gardening. These are the rules. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm gonna tell you, rules are bullshit, all right? I know I shouldn't have said that, but rules are not necessarily rules, okay? Like, let's take a look at this, for example. Everybody will tell you nothing's going to grow if you don't put some fertilizer down, you don't put some compost down. This is my shade garden, okay? And you can see it's starting to grow. It's taking a lot longer because it's got half the sun. I only get sun here in the morning and a little bit in the afternoon. I mean, like way late in the afternoon, in the evening time. I'll get a little bit because of the angle. So you can see back there I've got lettuce growing. And over there I've got enough I could actually start to do some harvesting. These are potatoes over here and they're growing. Now I just got done watering this, so a lot of things are laying down, but you can see my little row of carrots here. So I'm going to tell you a rule. Okay? Now, the way my rules work, it's my garden, my rules, I got to follow my rules. Alright? Your garden, your rules, you don't have to follow my rules. You do whatever you want. Alright, do what makes sense for you, because everybody's got a different situation. Everybody's got a different garden. Everybody's got different things happening, growing, working, eating, tearing up. Like, I want to tell you right here, I had a whole bunch of carrots. But some cat came in here and decided to make it into a toilet, and now my carrots are gone. Alright, so how do you put that in the rules? And I'm going to make a rule right now. No cats using my gardens as toilets. So, but I'm going to tell you one of my big hard and fast rules. Don't grow a garden, grow your dirt. What? How are you going to grow dirt? Compost. Alright? So, if you put compost in your soil, it does amazing things for your soil. Alright? Now, in this area, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do this as a no-till thing. I tilled it up initially with a shovel, and since then I haven't really tilled it. And so what I'm going to do now is this is now becoming a no-till garden. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep layering compost on it. Alright, and this is some good compost. Another rule. If you put chicken poop in your compost, you got to let it sit for at least a year. Well, let's hope not. Because I did not let this sit for at least a year. Matter of fact, it's been in there about 2 months. But it doesn't smell like poop, so I don't think it's going to hurt anything. And you think about it. Everybody tells you all these rules, but if a chicken comes along and craps in your garden, is it going to kill all the plants around it? I don't think so. Well, maybe it's just me, but I think that's just not going to happen. So anyway, so back to what I was talking about. Growing your dirt. One of the things that people miss in a lot of gardens is that they're growing vegetables, they're growing fruit, they're growing different things, but they're not growing the dirt. You got to get that life back into the soil. You got to get things going on underneath here. And if you look under here, I'll show you what I've got. This is just sand. Alright, really hardly anything to it, just a little bit of sand. Very, very sandy dirt with very little nutrients in it. Just not much to it. And yet, somehow or other, I've managed to grow all of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to put compost all over. Now the way I do it by hand. That way I can pack it in where I want it. I could do it with a shovel in certain areas. But particularly since I got all these small plants, what I'll do is I'll take the compost by the handful and I'll just kind of snuggle it up against, pulling the plant up as I go along, make sure that the leaves go up on top of the compost. And it does a couple of things for me. Because this compost isn't completely broken down, it'll provide some mulch action. In other words, it provides a layer between the sun and the soil. And it also puts much needed nutrients into my soil. Alright. And it also helps to kind of pick the plants up and get them back going again into the air around it. Not everything in here has been a success. If you look right here, I have 2 radishes. I planted a whole row of radishes along here, and I got 2. Alright. And they're not looking all that healthy. Okay. But if I was going to tell you one thing, if I was going to say one thing that you should do in your garden that'll give you more success than any other thing, is to grow your dirt. Grow your dirt. The successes I've had over in my main garden over here are because I have made tons and tons of compost. We even went and got zoo poo at the local zoo here and used that for compost. I have covered with mulch, which is primarily for me lawn clippings, and that has rotted down and become compost. All right, you gotta get some life in your soil. My theory is once you get the soil to really come alive, essentially you can grow anything given enough time and the right conditions. And I'm thinking that as long as I continue to put compost in, I should never have to do anything else to that dirt. Shouldn't have to till it, shouldn't have to bring in fertilizers. I don't use any fertilizer. I don't use any bug killer. And yet things are looking pretty healthy around here. Things are doing very well. So, if I had one piece of advice for every new gardener, if I had one thing for every old gardener, if I had one rule that I would say set in your garden, don't grow plants, grow your dirt. Alright, so thanks once again for stopping by. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Most importantly, grow your dirt.